the team here was able to develop a set of products that have had a very large success in the marketplace. Now, that didn't happen overnight. It was a progression of products and responsibility from 2006 until today. But the products now that are owned and the IP that are owned from the site here in India are the highest performing silicon in the industry, double anything else out there, double the density, scale unlike any other solution. And this is IP and architecture work that was done here out of the Bangalore site. The products that the team here has worked on are now generating about $300 million in revenue for the company, and it's north of 60% now of the company's revenue. The site here is now our largest VLSI site in the company, and we've opened up another facility, and we hope to expand that much further. So PMC, we are a global company. We have sites in Canada, the U.S., China, as well as now here in Bangalore. And one of the big challenges that we have is that as a chip company, we're constantly fighting Moore's Law. So every 18 months, the amount of gates or functions that we can put on a piece of silicon doubles, which means you typically need twice as many engineers to develop that function. So when we started this process, we looked ahead, and the view was that with 50, maybe 75 engineers, we would be able to get a chip out the door. And that's from top to bottom. So from design, verification, and the back end. It's now more than doubled that. It's very difficult to get any design, any chip out the door of the nature of what we develop, strictly from a VLSI perspective, for under 150 designers. So keeping up with that scale has been a challenge. The process we followed is we took very much a step-by-step approach. We started the site by bringing in, we had some ex-Indian leadership that had moved into the Bay Area or into Canada that were moved here to start and manage the site. We had build it, sort of build it as you go. We started with having the team own sort of a piece of the puzzle. So we started with sort of verification, then we moved into top level, then we moved into mixed signal. Finally, in 2009, the team was able to do their first complete device. There was a lot of reuse. There wasn't a lot of new IP development. It was more of a next generation device, but the entire device was led and was successfully launched with Rev A0, first pass silicon to market. And that, for us, that was a real validation that we were onto something, and we were able to successfully build a model here. Since then, we've passed project management, IP ownership, and architecture over to the site here. We're up to 250 engineers, which is enough to do sort of two projects concurrently. The one factor, again, missing is that upfront, that product definition side, right? And that is a very key, I think, element to have complete ownership, is to also own the requirements. And that's an area that we haven't yet developed the skills here yet. Certainly having end customers here would make a big difference. Just kind of wrapping up here, organizing the site for success, really, looked at the more we can make the site self-autonomous, the better. The time zones are very difficult for us. It's 12-hour time zone where most of our design sites are on the West Coast, in Vancouver and in San Francisco area. If you're a designer in San Francisco and your verifier is in India, it's very difficult to be efficient. But we've, over the years, we've successfully built up the capabilities across design, verification, and architecture. Having a culture of working across the globe, having the tools, the processes, adjusting time, work hours as needed was very important for us. We invested a lot of dollars in having folks here spend months at a time in North America, learning the team, getting trained, and likewise, we've had teams in North America spend months here. And that's made certainly a very big difference. So us for the future, I mentioned, the team, we sort of built this up to down success model around VLSI. The chips we're developing now have a very tight coupling of firmware and software. We have, multi-core, either MIPS, ARM, or other cores in every piece of silicon we develop. So, our next phase of investment is to develop the CPU subsystem expertise, build the firmware expertise and the software expertise so that we can continue to develop complete solutions top to bottom. And then hopefully we'll see some more and more increased manufacturing and system development here in India. And I think that'll be a real thrust for us ultimately moving marketing, product definition, and launch here into India. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. I believe that this was, again, further confirmation of the capability of the local design engineering. Maybe we can notice one thing, that in the captive design centers for the multinationals, slowly but steadily there is growth and deepening expertise which is happening. And now also we saw that, like in Cisco, there was even the complete product definition and executing from A to Z, and was also mentioned that there is a Bijou also. Another element which I think Travis was bringing, and just to underline, is that with investment in the R&D, which is deepening, there is also an aspiration of the local market to come up, and then it can cause the bridge in between these two and can give rise to really the growth in the ESDM sector in India.